Maxwell was basically born very close to his due date, and went into hospital, and Naomi, my wife, had reduced movements, so we got Maxwell into emergency C-section, and then when they took Maxwell out, he wasn't breathing, so he had to be resuscitated for about 35 minutes, and they didn't think he'd last more than a couple of hours, and at the most maybe a week or so. So Maxwell was in a really, really, really poor state, so we spent a lot of time up at Nobles, and luckily after, I think it was about 8 weeks or so, there was lots of toing and froing up there with Maxwell getting lots of different things, but luckily we managed to get Maxwell out of there. He's now back home, and we've taken Maxwell to have stem cells in October over in Mexico, so we're hoping to do stem cells every 6 months, and see if we can improve Maxwell's condition.
And so that he's requiring stem cell treatment? What's the kind of hope? What's the aspiration with that?
Well, I mean, we're trying to improve different parts of his brain and also his motor function as well, because I mean he's typically the babies that are born with hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, HIE, when it's very, very severe, they generally, the prognosis isn't very good. They're also very likely to never talk or anything like that at all. So the last time he had stem cells, after a week of having stem cells, he actually became verbal. So it was, incredible for us. So every time we have stem cells, we're hoping to see more and more, even if they're marginal gains. It gives us hope.
Why the need to travel to South America for this, and why is it something that can't be done kind of closer to home?
The reason why we're going to the places that we go to, generally the person that we're speaking to, she actually she created the protocol for stem cells. So she's the best person that you could possibly go to, and I also think there are some restrictions in terms of clinical trials and things that you can't do in places like Britain, and America also have the same sort of restrictions.
And how's he doing since you last spoke to us? You mentioned there's some kind of tangible difference from the treatments.
Yeah, that he has made large gains. Like I say, he's now able to control his head a little bit more. It might not sound much, but it really is massive.
And big things to a parent. I'm speaking as a relatively new parent, and it's that is a big difference, isn't it? From your point of view.
Yeah, it's massive, and also it's his brain or his skull wasn't growing in Nobles, and that was obviously a massive issue, because obviously if the skull doesn't grow, it shows that the brain's not growing. And after we had the stem cells, he has shown that he's now sticking to the bottom centile graph of brain growth. So it's massive. It really is massive for us.
So you've set up some fundraising targets to try and facilitate this, to get more treatment and to hopefully see more results. What have you done so far, and what have you achieved so far?
So because we're having these stem cells once every 6 months, hopefully going forward, Maxwell's getting bigger and bigger now, and we paid for the first trip of stem cells ourselves, but as he's getting bigger, when we go on the planes and things like that, he has to go in business class, because he's really quite big, and he does suffer with seizures and things, so he can't go in your standard economy and things like that. So that's where you've also got the cost of the treatment, but also the cost of travelling there. It's pretty big. So we're looking to raise 15,000 for the next round of stem cells.
You just had a quick look at the running total before we pressed record. Where are we up to now?
It's on 11,800. So obviously we still have a few thousand to go, but I'm hopeful that, with the event that we do next week, that we are going to be able to hit that target and possibly plus some as well.
So tell us more about what's planned. This is a Cycle 360?
Yeah, so it's at Cycle 360. So we're just a few friends that have got together. I've known Ed since 2015. A couple of the other guys involved have known him a lot longer. So we thought, if we could get together, try and do a night specific to raising funds for Maxwell and for, obviously, to help the GoFundMe page. So we decided, we just thrown a few ideas around and thought, why don't we just try and get somewhere where we can sell tickets, get some food, do something on the night. So what we came up with is the night at 360, we are doing an auction. So on the night, I think at the minute we've got around 14 lots in the auction. We have a raffle as well, which at the minute we have just over 50 raffle prizes. So we are trying to, get as much in as we can. We do still have tickets left for the event. I think there's around 20 tickets left, so it's £10 a ticket. This includes hot food on the night, so I think there'll be like a meat dish, and there's obviously a vegan dish as well.
This is Saturday the 1st of February, so not long to go.
Yeah, not long to go. It's next Saturday up at Cycle 360. It'll be from 7:30. It is, like I say, a ticket-only event. Now, we have a Facebook page set up for the event, which is at Maxwell Perry Fundraiser. So anyone, obviously, that wants more information on the night, wants to see what's going on, they can just go on there, like the page. So if they want tickets, they can send us a message. I mean, we get the notification straight away, so someone will come back to them straight away. Obviously, we've written out to a lot of companies as well, which I must thank the companies who have provided us with things for the auction.
Has there been a good response?
Prizes. Yeah, there has. I think we've written out to quite a few companies. Obviously, we've given them all the information. We've given them posters, asked them to put them up, around their offices, which have worked because people have come back to us and said they've seen the posters. Or we have had a lot of donations for raffle prizes and for the auction as well, which is really good. And then obviously, between the money from the ticket sales and what we hope to raise on the night, hopefully we will hit that £15,000 target.
What does this mean? I mean, if you did reach the target, when would you be looking to travel again for treatment next?
So he's already booked in now for April. So he's going again in April, and so that's it. That's when he's going for his next round and seeing how we get on from there and where we go next, basically.